The U.S. supply chain just can't seem to catch a break. Let's take a look at the CNBC Europe supply chain heat map. The labor situation at the German ports is getting worse after the latest port negotiations failed to produce an agreement. Crane Worldwide Logistics tells CNBC if no agreement comes by the August 22nd deadline, the backlog of U.S.-bound import containers will spill into the first quarter of 2023. Unfortunately, the labor strife over wages and inflation is growing in the UK. On August 21st, an 8-day strike at the port of Felixstowe, the UK's largest container port, will begin. Reviewing the bills of lading for ports leaving that port are containers filled with Guinness and whiskey for Diageo, breakfast cereals for Kellogg, medical devices, pork shoulders for Pilgrim's Pride, tires and Ben's food for Mars Foods. We are also adding Liverpool to the strike watch list as 500 dock workers recently voted in favor of a strike. Now let's head over to China. The CNBC China supply chain heat map shows the continued strain of COVID testing on truck drivers, which continues to slow down the movement of raw materials and exports. Adding to that time crunch, the government planned power cuts for industrial plants as a result of the record high temperatures. Some manufacturers in 19 cities have been ordered to shut down production for 6 days. Intel and Apple have manufacturing plants in those impacted areas. The region is also a hub for lithium battery manufacturing and solar cells. Now remember, playing catch up to recover from any delays in manufacturing or port closures takes weeks, not days. Wilf?
Lorianne, that's really interesting. Interesting to see the heat map looking so much worse in Europe than in Asia as well. And in terms of the U.S. ports that have had their own share of congestion, how are things looking there?
Well, things are still pretty much status quo. The Port of Oakland tells CNBC they're still clearing out the containers from last month's trucking strike. And looking at the U.S. supply chain heat map, the port has the longest wait time of import containers. And sitting at the ports right now, Wilf, are empty wooden barrels for Robert Mondavi wine, numerous containers filled with auto parts, Melissa and Doug puzzles, Italian furniture and wine, and flooring.